Meaning some soup. God feeds my spirit, but I have to take care of my body. Oh my, what is this doing in my soup? Get rid of this thing, would you?
I found some information about the twins. I think someone means to perform surgery on them.
I had to tell you, I think you're one of the twins. Your eye kind of is surgery.
I see. There is an operating room on the West Wing. Who would do such a thing?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out.
Dialogue is so bland. He had a bolt in his soup. Doesn't look like there's anything. I keep wanting to push M for map. I guess the closest save point's up here. I guess technically I'd go down to the first floor. It's probably safer to go to the examination room save point. That way I don't have to run past knights and swords and shit. I think I'm gonna go ahead and call it here. Probably pick this up again. Maybe since I got 2 weeks off in November, we'll probably pick this up again, Kor&Dab, and play some more of this. We need to play more Paper Dolls. Like, if you watch that VOD, I'm gonna get everything uploaded probably into 30-minute segments, Kor&Dab, to YouTube. But if you watch the Paper Dolls 2, oh my god, that game was creepy as shit. Like, just the opening area where there wasn't even monsters. I was creeped out just by the sounds. Like, that game had me on non-stop edge. I don't know what it is with games. Anything that originates from, like, Asia. Like, they know how to, like, scare the shit out of you. The original Grudge is kind of scary. That game was scary. At least we got more save things now, so it's not so scary. I had heard when I was looking through games and all that, and I was like, man, I don't know if the list for whatchamacallit's any good or not. I kind of looked up a few games to see what like the reviews were and all that. Tormented Souls like has like positive reviews everywhere. That it's like one of those must-play horror games because it's kind of like a throwback to the other like Resident Evil back in the day and I guess Dino Crisis and stuff like that. The only thing I don't like about games like that is like this is the restrictive camera angles. I don't like that about those original horror games. Yeah, it adds like a sense of eeriness to it, but when it comes to mobs and monsters, it makes it a real shit mess of like to deal with. Especially if you're like got a backpedal or a kite or anything like that, because you start moving from camera angles. So 1 second you're like, I can see down this hallway. You back up 2 feet and all of a sudden it like rotates and you're looking straight down and you can only see this little segment around this corner and you're like, well shit, now I can't tell where it's at. And then you go down here, this hallway, and instead of facing back towards the corner, you're now facing down this long ass hallway and what you're wanting to see is behind you and you're like, and it's a mess. And all of that can be changed just by moving like a foot in any direction. It's just one of those things. But all in all, it also kind of has that Silent Hill vibe to it with the music. Oh, psh, not at all, Kor&Dab. Every game, I mean, so far, in all honesty, the only games that have even gotten followers or anything are games that no one even signed up for. But I mean, you did what, Spooky Horror Mansion? I've heard positive things about that too. That it's got this creepy, eerie vibe to it. That it just like gets into like your like mentality.
What is going on here? This place is infested with nightmarish creatures.
Like, I feel like she could say that with some fear in her voice.
I need to be strong. I can't quit now. I've discovered that a surgical procedure is to be performed on 2 twin girls. I hope I can get to the operating room in time. There's something dark going on. Something grim.
Once again, man, they disappeared 14 years. Even if it's December 16th in this game right now, that's still 14 years. 14 years. Oh yeah, most definitely. What's on the what is tomorrow's game? Because Soma was made by the people that also did Penumbra, you had said, right? Little Hope should be interesting. That's kind of like a Choices Matter, kind of like Detroit Become Human or whatnot, is what I understand Little Hope is. Not sure on Visage. I think that's kind of like Paper Dolls. I gotta figure out which Silent Hill to play. But I think what I'm going to do, too, at the end of this, I think I'm going to do, like, a top 10 video on, what I felt were the top 10 from Scaretober and probably games to have on your, if you're a horror fan, like, top 10, like, that you must add to your horror list of playable, like, horror games. So far, Labyrinthine, Devour, Summer of 58 was good. For being an hour-long game, Summer of 58 was really good. I feel bad for that developer, though, because he developed a game that is only an hour long, and people are taking advantage of that and getting refunds on Steam after beating the game. It's newer, too, isn't it? Because whatchamacallit was 2007, even though it had graphics from, like, 97. Curious to see how Bigfoot will play out, and what is it? Witch Hunt and Skinwalker should be interesting. Outlast is just a survival horror game. Same with Alien Isolation. Dead Space shouldn't be too bad. I played a little bit of Dead Space back in the day. Not sure what Malum is off the top of my head. Call of Cthulhu probably won't be too scary. It's got horror aspects, but it's not gonna like make me shit my pants in fear. Darkwood, I know, is one of those games that is like a psychological horror. Among the Sleep, I know, has like jump scares and stuff. Amnesia's kind of like that too, I do believe. Don't know much about Visage, or Visage, however you want to pronounce it. Or Visage, maybe it's French. But I think the list was, you know, I got to thinking about it. In all honesty, I think the list was pretty solid for this year. I'm actually kind of like, if I make this like an annual thing, which I'd like to do, I honestly can't say that. I mean, there's obviously some games are gonna have to be repeated, or I'm gonna have to do different ones from the same, you know, companies. But the only one that I feel like really let me down so far was Killing Floor 2. Killing Floor 2 was, I felt, a very cliche horror. Like, I don't even think there was like, it was so corny. So much corny dialogue. I don't remember it being that corny when it was Killing Floor. But I think the list is pretty solid. I guess I'm kind of glad I got Killing Floor out of the way. I'd like to revisit Layers of Fear as well. Layers of Fear 2 was getting good. I know it'll get better. Dark wasn't too bad. Short, but not bad. Penumbra, I'd probably even honestly like to revisit, continue that on. Phasmophobia we should have a lot of fun with. I think this Friday, I think we're going to do the Ouija board on stream. The Friday after that, well, on the 29th, we're doing pumpkin carving. So if you're there at that, I'll probably start carving pumpkins at like 5. So I'll probably stream Soma before that. And then at 5, start doing the pumpkin carving and all that. Because I don't ever like carving pumpkins early. Maybe that Saturday after Witch Hunt, maybe we'll make some Halloween treats. But Phasmophobia, we're definitely playing that with viewers. Because I know Mandel wanted to play it. And I don't think Meg's going to be back from her operation yet. Casca will probably play it. But I think that's one. I think I might even throw out a few guides too, because Labyrinthine has so much potential. Because it's early development. I think it's in beta. Hell, it might be alpha. Where is it? I wanted the store page. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's early access for Labyrinthine. So it's got a lot of room to grow. And I think even Devour... I keep saying Devourer, but it's Devour. I think even Devour might be early access. No, it's But Devour, for only being $5, in all honesty, isn't bad. That's actually a pretty good deal for a game like that. Maybe we'll start. Maybe that will be something we do too, Kekaf. Is maybe we'll do like Friday Night Fright Fest instead of Freeform, and every Friday night maybe we'll play horror games. Revisit some of these horror games. So that way we can kind of beat them I'd hate to like have a whole bunch of horror games that I bought play 2-3 hours out of like, well, I guess 5 hours out of like a horror game that, you know, takes like 12 or 15 hours and missing out on some of the really, really good stuff. What were we looking at? But I wouldn't be too worried about your game choice. I mean, just get out there and advertise and just be like, and what I'll probably do, Kekaf, is I'll probably, in all honesty, I might just go out because like only like 6 people even chose to like champion games. I might just go out and buy all you guys like $20 Steam gift cards because you guys, you know, you guys at least responded to Scaretober and, you know, championed a game or whatnot. Yeah, because I want to play more Paper Dolls. I mean, that one really scared me. I don't think you got to see it. I think Katz was here that day. But like Paper Dolls, Resident Evil, I'd like to play. It crashed my computer though the other day, and all hell broke loose. I'd like to play more Resident Evil. I'd like to finish up Layers of Fear too. Dark Deception, I think we'd play that as kind of like a fun little game. But I think we beat Dark. Dark's done. Summer 58's done. I'd like to play more Vampire as well. Not so much of a horror game. It has horror aspects. It made me think of like a vampire version of Thief, if you've ever played Thief. But games like Dead Space, I'd like to maybe come back and finish. Call of Cthulhu. Bigfoot's kind of like one of those 4 people have to survive against the killer kind of situations. I'd like to make sure to finish like Alien Isolation. Because I don't think we'll beat Soma in 5 hours. Chernobylite, I don't think we're going to beat in 5 hours. But that way then, we can see some of that. But I think that's what we'll maybe do. Maybe we'll do Fright Night Fridays. Because once this is over, I got at the end of October, I got 2 weeks straight off in November. I got to get chores done around the house. I'm going to probably move my desk. Because right now, before I had the green screen, you know that my apartment is like literally right behind me, behind my green screen. So I think I'm going to rotate my desk around to face the wall that's right there. Do the green screen up along it. That way I can maybe monitor this light that comes in because it really floods me. Like right now, there is a light right here that's going up, but most of my light comes in through this window that's really obnoxious. But I think that's what we'll do, and I think we're gonna start running viewer mythics for WoW, and then I think going into October, I'll debate it, but I was thinking about maybe doing in October doing like 12 Days of Christmas and maybe doing like a giveaway every day. Probably once again like $20 Steam gift cards. But I do have to tag out. Like I said, it's the busiest night of the year for me at my job because the Alaska Permanent Fund's coming in tonight. So we're going to be super, super, super busy at my job. But I appreciate you for coming by, Kekaf. Thank you to anybody else stopping by as well. Make sure to hit that follow button because all month we are doing Scaretober. So that way you can come back and join us for the other horror games that we will be playing this month. Tomorrow's game is Little Hope. So do come and join us for that. Yeah, I try to keep everything on my toes, Kekaf, so that way I've got stuff going on. And kind of a game plan. Because if I don't have a game plan going, then I'm going to forget or I'm going to get lazy about it. But I appreciate everybody in chat. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kekaf, especially for helping me figure out the one with the statue. And I will see everybody tomorrow. Have a good night. Stay safe.